Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Christian Reeve podcast. Today's guest goes by the name Spazious. I think that's right. Spazious. Uh,
Jesus.
Spazious. He is a Russian YouTuber who creates content for horror games, funny moments, compilations, reactions, vlogs, and he also creates his own music as well. So there's a lot to delve into. But yeah, he's my first ever Russian guest, which for me is pretty awesome. So, привет, как дела?
Oh, hey. It's okay. It's going right. How are you?
Very good, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And yeah, there was different ways I wanted to approach this because, you know, when I was looking through the research and I was looking at your channel, one of the things that I noticed straight away was that your location is the United States. And as I know, you're actually in Russia. But
Sure.
another one of my guests that I've had on the show was from South Africa, and he did a similar thing in order to target that American audience. So obviously there's like a strategy behind it. But I found this interesting because, Russia is a huge market, and just, even if you would go down that route just of making a Russian only speaking channel, that you probably still do very well anyway. So I guess there's kind of like, for me, immediate question marks with regards to that. But I guess what I wanted to talk about just right off the bat is like, why do you choose to post content in English and not Russian as well? Like say for a second channel or something.
Yeah, so I have like a little teaser here that I'm going to create a Russian channel actually.
Oh,
We've
okay.
talked with Stelzy a little bit about this. So it's like all my friends that saw me talking in English and doing the content in English, they said like, bruh, in Russia there are no such content and no such energy in Russian YouTube. Because it's really little of horror game YouTubers and like only let's plays and vlogs kind of stuff on Russian market. So it's kind of will be easy to go on Russian YouTube and just bang it.
I'm
But
really
at the same time,
surprised. Sorry,
at the,
keep going, keep going.
yeah, yeah. At the same time, I started like my first ever YouTube channel as a Russian Let's Player, and I played horror games and like funny games and funny moments. The same thing. When I was like 13, and it was like 8 to 9 years ago.
Right.
So I
Okay.
started a whole game like for 9 years now, and it was like I was not that good to be on YouTube, as I analyzed, post analyzed it, and in retrospective, it was like it was trash for me. So I dropped it for a couple years, and then I thought that I know English, like, let's be honest, like so much better than all the Russians. Like, there are no Russians like around me.
hmm
I'm like telling only the people I'm talking to
hmm
that know English that much that they can just speak with German guys in English, speak with
Right.
the audience in English. So it's like I thought the vlogs and the horror games with my Russian reaction in English will be interesting and funny to see because it's
hmm
like unique style.
I mean, I get what you mean. I do think it's quite surprising actually that you say that there isn't Russian YouTubers kind of doing this right now because like I know a fair bit about Russian culture. I've lived in Europe. I have a lot of Russian friends, so I've seen a lot of like I guess Russian media and music and such. And there's a lot of energy in that. So it really surprises me that there isn't like a bigger sort of scene in Russia as far as YouTube is concerned. I mean, I often, from like an objector's kind of outsiders looking in kind of perspective, I've always seen like a lot of similarities between like Russia and America. Like if you take, say, I don't know, Russian rap as an example, like even the way people look, the way they hold themselves is very similar to American style and the way people clothe themselves. And it makes sense, it's the proliferation of American media around the world and it just kind of gets everywhere. But like with that being said, Russian culture is very strong in of itself. So like I'm surprised there isn't more of a scene because one of the questions I had to you was actually about you know sort of talking about the Russian YouTube scene and I guess who are like the most successful Russian YouTubers? Like who are the big names in Russia at the moment?
I think you know the music band Little Big.
It rings a
It's like
bell.
alternative electronic pop
Okay,
stuff.
okay, okay.
So they're like banging. My friends from America, from Europe, they said like Lil Big is banging, bruh. And it's interesting because all YouTubers, like stand-up comedians, they're doing sketches, they're doing
Right.
some content. So they started like small YouTubers. They grouped with each other, and then just started making music, making videos, and they just like a big gang in YouTube scene
So
in
the
Russia.
right, so there's not really like sole YouTubers in Russia. It's more like, as you say, like groups or I don't know how to put it. Like, yeah, groups, I suppose, is the best word
Yeah.
then. So it's like a franchise, so to speak, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like their own made franchise. But at the same time, there are a couple of like Minecraft Let's Players, like horror Let's Players in Russian that makes the contents in solo. But
Okay.
I think it's not like this wide, not this like a big appreciation from the media outside the internet. Because these guys who I was talking about, they were like big on TV, big on like they're going to Eurovision from our country.
I think I know the people that you're on about because I remember because I'll explain. I lived in Estonia for a few years, and there's like a lot of Russian TV programming that showed there, and I remember seeing. I can't remember the name, but it was like a comedy show, live show. There's a group of comedians. I didn't understand a word, but they had good energy. It looked like it was funny. But it was always the same faces. It was like 3 to 5 guys, and they would, and women as well, I think, as well, yeah. And they would do like different characters, sketches, and such. And from what I was told, that's like very popular and I guess esteemed in Russia. Like it's considered in high regard. Um, so that's cool. But yeah, I kind of, I mean, you haven't come out and said it, but like I kind of agree with you that it doesn't kind of. It's not really like having a proper YouTube channel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when I
Yeah.
see, I don't know, like Jimmy Kimmel or some shit like that. Like, if anything, I think that's a bit exploitative. It's like, look, you already make money from TV. Like, stop coming here and stealing our stuff. Like,
Don't go to our place. Just do your own thing. It's like internet is our place. Go out.
and the worst thing about YouTube as well is that like they push those people as well. They don't push people
Yeah.
like you and me who are actually trying to grow something from the ground up with like no support. They just push the people that have all of the support. What's the point? But anyway, I digress. Before we get on to like your inspirations in terms of like Western YouTubers, is there anyone that you look up to in the Russian scene? Like anyone that I don't know, maybe when you started out with YouTube, when you were doing your Russian only videos, that you were like, yeah, this is the person I want to be like, or this I like the way this person creates videos, etc.
Yeah, when I started YouTube, I was beforehand watching whole night through videos of Useless Mouth, the user guy. So he's like completely Russian. He makes content in Russia, but you feel the energy that he took from like PewDiePie,
Mm-hmm.
because he played like Happy Wheels before PewDiePie. He said it like uh, white on, I mean black and white. Like he played before PewDiePie the Happy Wheels shit, and yeah, he was a really big inspiration for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, if he can do it like from a small town around Moscow, why can I do it? But
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was like just a little kid, like 13
Right,
years
right,
old,
right, right, right.
but nobody like got seriously my content. They was like just another poser, or just another copy of a useless mouth or something like that. As some of my friends said, like, you're copying too much from the useless mouth.
I think
And
it's yeah. Go on, please.
he got like a gang, like a little gang, like with his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and just small Russian like let's players who he played with. And actually, I met one in person, and we were like chatting and such, but it's not like collaborations and stuff. and they're like quite a funny guys. They give you like this vibe of
Mm,
what's interesting to people to see on YouTube. So that
mm.
was big impression.
And yeah, like, I get what you're saying with that. Like, I agree with your point about, like, I think it's sensible you took a break, because I did the same thing. I actually started my YouTube at the end of 2013, early 2014, and I still stand by the music. Like, if you go on my channel and you go right back to the beginning, you can find the music that I created then, and I stand by it. But you know, I made cringe videos as well. I was just copying what everyone else was doing. I think I was a bit too harsh on myself, but you know, low self-esteem, blah 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 blah. You know, you
Yeah.
grow up, you become older and wiser. But yeah, I do kind of think, like, I wish I'd started it sooner, but I do think that, like, you have to approach it when you have like a game plan, when you've got like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and we'll grow from here. Because like last year, I started doing acting for the first time early last year, and you know, I posted a couple of videos on YouTube, like, here's a short film, here's a thing I did, and then you know, it got a bit of views, got some interest, and I was like, what if I would try this? And then it kind of evolved from there, and then eventually it's like, okay, we're going to do this, let's pursue this kind of thing.
People like it.
Yeah, but it takes time to kind of get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna make a schedule. I'm gonna make this kind of content. I'm gonna avoid this. You know, but like that initial, like, having that plan and having that confidence as well, like, to actually pursue it, because not a lot of people understand, especially people that don't do YouTube. Like, they don't understand what goes into it, and you know, I think for most of us, like, we are our own worst critic. You know, I
Yeah.
can think of times when I've started doing like a Let's Play series, like I got 10 episodes in and then I just cancelled it and deleted it all. And like, so much work went into that. But I was like, no, it's trash. No one would watch it. And I think that's the key. It's like, you got to always be trying to beat your own standards and such. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Are there any, well, of course there are, but like, who are your main inspirations in terms of like Western YouTubers and such? Who are the big ones that, you know, you are aspiring to be like?
Yeah, the first one actually that I started watching not Russian content was the PewDiePie,
Right.
of course. So the theme of one man doing the whole job, like playing games and gaining like money and popularity of this, that's what catch me. It's like, bruh, I can all the time my parents were like, why are you always playing games? You
Mm,
nothing will get with this. And I'm just like, bruh, look at this man. He's
man's
like
making money.
the man's making big money. And yeah, so it's like it was PewDiePie, was Markiplier, and to be honest, I was quite mad because I started before Markiplier, my first channel,
Mm,
and started to play horror games. It was like a little bit downer that like a grown man can do better than a little kid. No, whatever. Like I moved on from this. And actually, there was, I think, a little bit of Syndicate, like Syndicate Tom Cassell from England.
mm,
Yeah, he's like zombie videos and then
okay.
vlogs, especially for the vlogging with his phone. Just inspired me to take my phone with me and just do vlogs too, because it's interesting to see like Russian life within. It's like
Yeah.
not going into Russia, because everybody, especially my, I'm getting off the topic a little bit.
No,
I'm
please,
sorry.
please. You know, I'd love to.
One of my subscribers said that I genuinely thought that you have a bear pet.
Oh,
And I'm
what?
like, yeah, like I'm Russian
Okay.
and I
Yeah. Yeah.
generally have to get like a bear pet. And I told her that I saw pets, or I saw a bear like twice in my life. It was in a zoo.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because really some people think that we have like bears on the street, we drink vodka like with our family and dinner, and we play balalaika just to entertain ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. So I thought that it will be interesting to get my subscribers into Russian life. Like I'm just a basic boy living in Russia. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm like not going to Bali. Look at my big vlog.
Mm,
So it's like a little bit of traveling through the Russians, getting through all like standard stuff for me. But it's interesting to people looking and watching my videos because when I thought when I showed how Russian trains work,
mm,
all the subscribers were like, "What is that? Like Russian trains? Are you traveling with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there's just a regular day."
yeah.
So yeah, I thought I don't know about like other inspirational YouTubers, like Western ones, because I watch sometimes Sidemen
Hmm.
from England and Game Grumps. Yeah, Game Grumps. Game Grumps were like a little bit of my style and just watching casually playing games and just commenting weird stuff. So yeah, I'm not like into big amounts of YouTubers,
Okay.
but when I'm watching this, it's like it's my content for days. It's like I'm not clicking off and I'm not unsubscribing from these people.
Ah, that's fair enough. And what is your kind of overall opinion of just different YouTube scenes around the world? You know, because I know for me, I'm a big fan of like UK scene. Not really because I'm from the UK, just that I think that we have better content creators in terms of just overall the sort of content that's being created versus when I look at people in like America. There are a few people here and there that are interesting, but like there's a lot that I don't personally like, and I am generalizing here. But like for me, it's always been like the best ones are in like the UK or like dotted around Europe and such. But I'm always looking for like stuff that's very unique. You know, like for instance, just before we started, I was checking out this video by a guy called I think his name is Dovidas. Dovidas. He's a guitarist, and he just has like some very interesting ways that he records his video. Like I probably am subscribed to like a million different musician, but like him in particular, he has like interesting camera angles. Like he does a thing where if he's playing live, he has like I guess it's like a GoPro attached to the top of the guitar, and it's just a weird thing. I don't know, it's different. And like that's the kind of the big thing with YouTube, isn't it? It's trying to be different and trying to do something that not everyone else is doing. Um, so yeah, like, do you have any favorite, like, I suppose, regions of the world or scenes, so to speak?
Yeah, I thought about like Australian boys.
Oh wow,
It's like
yeah,
Max Mofo, Cold Ones. I really
mm,
love Cold Ones. That's why I really want to get into one of podcasts.
yeah.
I'm really thankful that I'm here now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And yeah, I thought about like yeah.
oh, I was literally just going to say that, like, I think podcasting has just become like a staple of YouTube in general now. But I will say this though, given that it's like very oversaturated, I think you do have to kind of come at it with something unique or something a little bit different. Because one of the major concerns I had with starting a podcast is like, well, there's so many now. Like, who the fuck's going to watch this? Who cares? And that was one of the reasons I decided to do like interviews and like a mixture of interviews and then me going at length on topics as well. And it is very much a work in progress. I mean, it's early days still, but it is something to be considered because there are so many where it's just people sitting down and discussing a topic, which is fine. I mean, I think it largely depends on the people that are there. And I know these sound like all really obvious points, but to anyone who doesn't do this, like, I think when you start watching like loads of these, you start noticing like patterns or like for me, sometimes I notice a bit of laziness in certain podcasts. I'm not going to name any names, but like there are some that I subscribe to because of the people involved. And then I watch it and I'm like, actually, this is a bad podcast. And it's disappointing because it's like
Yeah.
these people are like great content creators normally, but then when they do a podcast, it's bad. And that's the funny thing is it's like a podcast is its own entity. The fact that all people on YouTube are doing it is just kind of besides the point. I think you have to come in with a basic plan and like see how it evolves, and you have to stick with it as well. Like you can't just kind of give up straight away. And you've got to try a lot of different things. But you know, if it is something that you genuinely want to do, I'd recommend, yeah, just having that initial kind of concrete plan of like, okay, I want to chase this thing, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
But
But you're growing, dude. Like I saw your first podcasts and like the recent one, like video before me, video
mhm,
podcast.
mhm.
That was growth, dude.
Oh, well, thank you.
I really loved. I really enjoyed like last video.
I've been enjoying them a
And yeah,
lot more actually. Go for it.
talking about scenes, I thought about like English scene, like
Mhm.
as you said, like in England. But I still like stuck on Sidemen and Sidemen Friends. But I
Yeah.
guess it's like it's not that much. And also, I really love the videography scene, like
Mm.
Bishop McKinnon, Casey Neistat, because I really love the juice in the video. Because in my spare time, I work as a videographer,
Oh, right.
so I like
Cool.
shoot these crazy videos for some events, for weddings, for like proms, and etc. So I taught myself by this video, so I learned a lot from these boys.
Oh,
So it was
fantastic.
like quite a lesson for me from
Mm.
just watching beautiful videos for these guys. And yeah, I don't know about American, because American scene is like such a big wide difference,
Right.
even like with regions and vloggers and let's players.
Mm.
But I think I'll stop on England and Australia.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it is difficult to generalize because there are many, you know, like I said, like, oh, I'm not fond of the American scene, but I can think of plenty of American YouTubers that I adore and love and have subscribed to
Yeah,
for many years. Um, I just think, I guess more what I mean is like what's popular generally speaking. Like, okay, for instance, like if you take someone like I don't know, Logan Paul, like I respect what he's done, but I wouldn't personally like watch that kind of content. And I realize it's not for my demographic. Obviously, I get that. I'm just saying that like it's if you take him as an example, there's probably like 10,000 different YouTubers doing the same thing as him, and like that's
yeah,
what I mean about the kind of over saturation and stuff. Like when I take my own channel, you know, I'm not doing anything particularly groundbreaking or anything, but like I realized that it's very niche in some ways. So growth will take longer because people have to kind of like me, like what I'm doing, you know?
understand.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it would be very easy to just throw out videos to get views. But then it wouldn't be like the type of content that I want to make. It wouldn't be real, etc. And I think that's something that people have to think about because it's all well and good trying to get the views in the beginning and throwing everything, you know, like the expression throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. I get that. But at the same time, there will be a point where it's like, okay, I got the audience now, I got the views, now what? And the tricky thing is, if you build up an audience slowly, it's much better because they grow with you. They kind of indicate what they want. They're going to stick around. Whereas if you just get people randomly, like, okay, I did a couple of videos, they bang, I get like, I don't know, 10K subs, 20K subs. You've then got to like frantically try and keep them. And it's like they won't necessarily want to
yeah.
stay because, you know, you'll be trying different things. You'll be like, okay, I'll put a vlog out and then no one cares. And it's like, okay. I don't know. That's just my view on it. I think it depends on your strategy. I guess a lot of people don't care about that as well. But
It's like when I started YouTube, like when I was like a grown ass adult, as we say, like in 19 years.
mhm.
uh I thought like I can do challenges, I can do like TikTok dances and like compilations of funny moments from different kind of players and just stick it in my video and
Right.
get like copyright infringement. But at the same time, I don't enjoy that.
Mm.
I will hate myself when I get like views, when I get money, when I get like people who wants more of this content. But at the same time, I think that later in the evening, like after my 9 to 5 job, I will go to work and try to do a video that I hate, a video
Mm.
that I don't really enjoy making, like getting the material, edit it, like post production it. I hate it. Why am I bothering? So I thought like I will do what I love to do. Like I like to play games, I like to shoot videos, and then sometime soon or later I will get the people who enjoy that too. So anytime in my life when I do anything like that, like this kind of videos, they will stick around and I will enjoy this as much as I did like in when I was 19. So I thought like it's a long way to go and this won't happen like this. There
Mm.
will no like money or just big fame, but it's like a steady long road that you take now.
Yeah, I think the same way that you do. I thought about this in the beginning as well, because there was that moment of like, should I do what's popular or should I do what I like? And it's like, I tried a few things here and there, but like I had the same problem that you had. Like I'd do like, I don't know, like a reaction video and it would take ages to edit. And then I'd be like, ugh, and the video wouldn't do particularly well. Like it does all right. But it's like, yeah, I don't enjoy doing this. Like, why am I doing
Yeah,
this? Okay, so don't do it then. And I'm like, oh, but I wanna grow. Oh yeah, but like, what's the point if you don't enjoy it? Okay, all right, fine. And as you say, it is a decision. It's like, okay, we're going to do this the long way. We're going to do it the hard way. But in the end, it will be worth it. I
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah.
Um, let's continue the theme with YouTube. Tell me why you decided to become a YouTuber. Like, obviously, we know a little bit about what inspired you, and we obviously understand now that it's part of what you do in your daily life and such, with videography. But what were the initial reasons why you decided to become a YouTuber?
I think it's like uh I started with my love to making videos, like any kind of videos. When I was like 1 or 2 years old, my dad always like shoot like a little family videos with VCR. It
Oh,
was like
cool.
VHS, VCR, like this kind of little camera that records on cassette. So I watched
Brings me
like
back.
he is doing videos of me, like me. I'm looking at myself like a year back, 5 years back. Like now it's like 20 years back,
Yeah.
and it was like so astonishingly exciting for me. Just you can just take your like little camera and shoot your vision of the world. Like you see with your two eyes, like only you can see with them, but you can show people how you see all the pictures. And then I started like playing video games. It happened to me early,
Hmm.
again because of my dad. He like bought me a computer when I was 4, I guess.
Hmm.
So I started with all the gaming stuff. So I thought like I really like videos. I really like video games. I will not stop like playing when I get like 16. I will just go and drink. I'll just go and party. No, I still enjoyed like sitting in my bedroom playing horror games and playing just casual games. And it's like not going anywhere. So I thought like I can do my biggest hobbies, like I can connect them,
Hmm.
and maybe YouTube will give me a chance like to make this my job. It's like it's a dream of every fucking kid to play games and gain money,
Right.
especially when like when parents told you like it's not getting you anywhere while you're playing games, you like spend your life on this waste. So I thought like
Can
I
I
can get
just
it.
cut in and ask a
Job.
personal question? Like, what's the age difference between you and your parents? So you're like early 20s, right? Or early to mid 20s, something like that, right?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Right. So your parents are what, in their 50s or 40s?
Yeah, 40s, 50s.
Right. Yeah. So there's like this generational difference there as well. It's like when they were growing up,
Yeah,
totally different. Plus, it's Russia as well. So like they might have
yeah.
lived through Soviet Union as well, possibly.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, yeah, yeah. So
that's
there's
right.
all these different elements to it. So like they see you playing a game, and I imagine there's probably a bit of like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you not working? What do you
Yeah,
mean you're playing games? What do you mean you can make money with
yeah.
games? So you a fool? Like
Till this day now, it's like it's happening from time to time.
I guess it will just take that day when you come home and you just show your dad like, look at this fat stack I've made from this, and he'll be like, huh.
I'm waiting for this day. Like it will be my second birthday.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, yeah. So we've learned a little bit about why you started, and it sounds logical to me. You know, it was similar to me too. You know, I think it largely does kind of start out with just playing around and seeing what you can do, and also just like seeing what are the possibilities as well. Like I find that the more limited you are in terms of the technology you have, the more creative you have to be as well. Like I can recall times I've not had like a proper camera, so I've had to use like mobile phones, and I've had to like be, you know, like for instance, I don't have like proper artificial lighting, so I had to like be clever with
Yeah.
like the use of like natural lighting and stuff. And yeah, I think it's good. It can only be a positive thing in terms of developing your creativity. And yeah, and in terms of things like having a career in filmmaking or videography, it's like, okay, if we have a problem, it's not the end of the world. I can use different techniques and try different things. So what would you say is like your favorite type of content to create? Because as I sort of covered in the beginning, you do a lot of different types of stuff. You're always trying different things, and you create content very regularly. So what's your absolute favorite that you just love to do?
I really love to play like full big walkthroughs.
Hmm.
It, and it's like a relevant from relevant game. But at the same time, as you said, like as you mentioned, I'm like shooting on my laptop all the every single game, and I'm shooting like this video even with my little action camera, and my light is like it's like table lamp. So it's always like I need to be savvy to play some games that will be some kind of relevant, like
Yeah.
some kind of Markiplier will choose for his video or something. But at the same time, I really love to play recent games, so like big games. It's like it can gain you views like in no time,
Right.
and at the same time, you will enjoy playing like new game. It's like interesting for you, but I cannot really record that. So I choose horror games. Like I'm not really enjoying playing horror games. Like that's bullshit.
So why do you do
Because
it? Why?
no, it's like not like I'm not enjoying this. I really love horror. I really love horror games, but sometimes it's like 50% of these games, like when you get into it,
Yeah.
it's like it's a shit game made by like 10-year-old. But you have to like finish the game because you have like a schedule. You have like people who ask you to play this game.
I
I
see. So
really,
these are indie games that
yeah,
people are sending in to you, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
let's do it.
yeah,
And then you get halfway, and you're like, oh, this is shit.
yeah.
Oh,
In my
oh
mind, I'm
no,
like,
what have they sent me?
why am I wasting my time?
That's
So
jokes.
yeah, like, and my favorite content is vlogs.
Right.
Like as I mentioned, I really love like Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat stuff. So I
Hmm.
really love to make b-rolls. I really love to make beautiful picture and like tell people about my day, tell people about my unusual travels around Russia. So it's like two of my favorite like type of content. I don't know. I will try my best to create something more, something like try different stuff
Mm.
because now I'm like it's like interesting period in my life that I'm moving from my parents to another city, so I'll be living by my own,
So
so I can do
what is
like
this for? Is this for studies, or is it just for work?
yeah
Or
for my university, and like I'll just stay there.
he's becoming a man.
Yes.
uh,
Boy
you,
became man.
I'll say this much: it once you, there was, as far as I'm concerned, once you move out, you never want to go back.
Yeah.
Sure to visit and such, but like I moved out when I was let me see, I was 21. I'm 27 now, so it's about 6 years on my own or living with like partners or whatever. And I love my own space. Like, just can't ever imagine going back.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, in fairness, when I left when I was 21, I was ready. I think I was ready for a good couple of years. I've always been
I'm
like
so
that.
ready right now. And we talked like with Stealthy about this. Like
Oh,
when you have like a streamer house, like a streamer
yeah.
apartment, or like a content creator like space where
Yeah.
you live, where you create, where you just can bash into one's room and do a content from this and like get a
Yes.
couple million views from just some of your friends just pooping, and you can make a banger video. Not gonna lie, I'll watch it till the end.
I could imagine if you say like you lived with Steelsy and you did a
Yeah,
video like that. He's a very eccentric guy, so I imagine
yeah,
living with him would just be just crazy. Like, he'd just be something
yeah.
else.
It's still, I love him. I love the man.
Talk to me a little bit, just on a side note, how you know Steelsy, because for those who listen to the podcast, they'll know that we did a podcast with Steelsy, and he's a Twitch streamer. He's a very prominent streamer, and he also does a little bit of YouTube as well, but he's more focused on Twitch streaming. I know that you guys have done Twitch streaming together, but yeah, talk us through how you know him, how you met him, what the connection is there.
That's actually a really funny story. Like when I started YouTube, I didn't have like any friends to record with because all the videos in my Russian channel, I was just playing with my friends. They didn't like even notice that I'm making a video right now. We were just having a laugh, having like a little like swear jokes and all kind of stuff.
Okay,
So I
okay.
just edited it in one compilation. So they didn't really know that I'm making videos. I'm just enjoying myself and trying my best to get my editing skills better.
Mm.
But now when I started Spazious channel, it was like really lonely because I only like tried reactions and horror games, like solo horror games. And it was kind of sad because I like Canadian American let's players who always play all every single game they play with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of them?
What's the name?
Like Venus Gaming and H2O Delirious. They don't have like Banana Crew, I think. Banana Bus Crew.
Okay.
And it's like Venus is like the biggest one.
Mm.
So yeah, I was watching their videos and they're like all the videos they were making together. It's like Gmod, CSGO, GTA. It was really fun to me to look at this. Like you have laughs, you have like inside jokes, and the audience can take it. So I thought I need a partner. So one of the loneliest nights after recording my videos and editing it and posting it every single day, I was playing golf with my friends by myself. I just bought the game and just
Yeah.
I was going through servers to play with someone because it was like 3 a.m. in Russia. So I got like into weird server that was called like Stealthy Stream
Oh,
or like twitch.tv/stealthy. So I was like, I'm gonna stream snipe this bitch. I'm
yeah.
gonna like just bash the door and get into the stream. And that's how we met. We started to talk. We started to message each other on Twitter, and we just thought like, why don't we have a collab? Like he was streaming at the moment, like before his little break, and
Mm-hmm.
he was streaming. I was recording video and I'm just meshing like highlights of the video on my channel of the stream, and that's how we just met, and that's how we started to make content together, and we like enjoyed each other vibes. Like I'm with the German boys, they speak German. I'm just don't understand shit. It's like full gibberish for me.
That's
But
an
still, like I
experience,
enjoy
isn't it?
his friends and him. It's like I really love the vibe that's going on the sales stream.
Well, excellent, man. That's really cool. I mean, it's kind of the same for me too. Like, I've met a lot of people through doing this, and people I would consider friends as well. And it's funny as well to even think about like the online friends. I mean, for me, I've been
Yeah,
playing games online all my life, so it's not really unheard of to have online friends, but it was kind of different back in the day. Like back in the day when it was just things like Xbox 360 online, like you would have people you regularly played with and chatted with, but I wouldn't necessarily like say they were always friends. It's just kind of like people you play with. But as the internet grew and things changed and things are where they're at now, it is. I mean, it's if you play with people long enough, you get to know them, you collab a lot. I mean, Jesus, I've done literal podcasts with people having never met them, but we regularly did it on a regular basis. And it's like, wow, this is kind of weird when you think about it. Because I'm detached from it. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. And then you just sit back and you're like, this is weird. This is very weird. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
like
awesome.
I was like in this too with the Steam friends, like when you just add on Steam, like let's go play around, play match. But with Stealthy, like we're just like now planning on seeing each other, going to each other's countries to
Oh,
like
excellent.
do a real life collabs. So it's like it's a little bit different. It's really interesting for me because I never had like this kind of experience in my life.
Yeah, I can't wait for that as well when things sort of return to some resemblance of normality. It'd be great to do real life collabs. I've got a lot of ideas, people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd like to make this podcast, actually have guests there in person. That would be great. I don't mind doing it online, but it's just, I think it's a different kind of experience when you are face to face with someone. Um, Different vibe, different feeling. Lots to be taken
Yeah,
from it.
I
It's just
agree.
different, yeah. So just kind of, I suppose, drawing it to a little bit of a close as far as like you and YouTube is concerned, because I'm going to get to social media in a second, because I've got a couple of questions there. But the biggest question I want to ask you is like, what are the biggest challenge? Actually, no, I've got two. I've got two questions here. What are your biggest challenges that you've faced with YouTube so far? Because you've been doing it a while now. And obviously, as you said, you were doing Russian only videos for a couple of years, then you stopped, then you took a break. Now you've returned doing English only videos. And you've been doing it for some time. So talk us through what the major challenges have been and yeah, I guess what you've learned throughout this process.
The biggest challenges for me, it's like uh, it's this dumb feeling of not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every creator, I think, have this like a little crisis. It's going on like now and then.
Yeah.
Like when you're feeling like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing it? Am I doing it wrong? Why it's nothing happening? Like why nothing is recognizing me?
Mm-hmm.
What's like why my views are dropping? Why my
Yeah.
views are like constant? Why it's not peaking? When I enjoyed making like this video, that video, and it was like a big blast for me to record that, to edit that, to post production it, and nothing happened. It's like it got like a little less views than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of I took I'm taking a breaks when I have this kind of breakdowns
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like when I'm down like this with my creations and my creativity going in the internet, I will just I will make it like every single day the shittiest like mid-tier content.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to like feed my subscribers who really enjoy that. It could be like 2 people or 10 people, but they enjoy me being active, being myself, being like doing what I'm doing. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to see my sad face and talking about like I'm quitting YouTube tomorrow because I feel
Yeah.
down, because I feel depressed about my career. So I learned myself that I need to like take a break, like for the week, for the month. I don't know. My longest break like this was for 4 months. And after the
Wow.
4 months, I felt so refreshed. I
Okay.
felt so refreshed. And I thought like I'm never going to stop like this. Because I feel like I'm getting matured after this kind of breaks. Because I only had like two of them, like one big between like Russian and English
Mm.
channel, and this kind of break this autumn, I think, last autumn, and that was like my biggest thinking process about what am I doing, what am I going to do with YouTube, what I'm going to achieve with this, who I want to be on YouTube, on the internet. So I thought like this is the biggest pet peeve, I might say, like of me, to do this like breaks, but at the same time they teach you something.
Yeah.
And the other other big problem that I like experienced, it was like uh, nobody gives a shit what you're doing. Like
Yeah, that's the
when you're in
truth.
Russia, it's like in not a big city, and it's like no content creators. Like it's you can count them on your fingers on your hand. Uh, they're like nobody understands you. Nobody like really gives a shit about what you're doing. Like even with parents and closer friends,
But
they
what's the
just
kind of general consensus in Russia as in terms of like thoughts and feelings on YouTube? Because I know in the UK it's beginning to be taken more seriously because of content creators like, you know, KSI, who's kind of established a sort of a promising music career and stuff. And there's like a lot of crossover. So now you're seeing people like him being interviewed regularly on TV. And now they're kind of realizing like, hey, you can make money from this. You can make a career out of this. Um,
Mhm.
is it like being taken seriously in Russia as far as that's concerned, or is it still kind of something that people like about?
it's here and there, I should say. Like it's getting there, like with the English media, but it's
Right.
still like not that much of a. They're like people from TV and so on is going like all the population of our country,
Hmm.
and everybody is watching TV around like in Russia. But
Yeah.
I don't understand like why you watch TV. You can choose content what you've been feeding yourself.
That is weird. I got to be honest. Like, I think it might be because there's such a big population in Russia, and you've got a lot of people from older generations and such. So maybe they're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
so comfortable with on-demand services. But it is weird because obviously you have those services available there, so people can pick and choose what they want to watch or
yeah.
when they want to watch it. And I'll be honest, like I find it surprising when I learn that people still watch TV because I never watch TV. I always watch things on demand, movies, normally like TV series, really. I don't really watch like
And still
television
like
shows. Yeah.
yeah, it's like with my parents, for example, I taught them that you can like watch YouTube, watch Instagram, watch TikTok
Yeah.
with your own mobile phone that you have only
Yeah.
this year.
Oh,
Only
wow.
this
Okay.
year. It's like it was weird. They're watching TV every single evening. I'm like, not, I don't know what this thing except for my PlayStation 2. It's like, why do you use this? And yeah, so it's like, as you said, it's with the population, with the all non-tech people, I should
Hmm.
say, like people who don't understand much more than the TV. They're just like, I have a TV, I'll just eat the shit that they feeding me. And that's why it's like not recognized by the older people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I didn't have like this much of appreciation from my friends that who watched my content for like once or twice, and they were saying like, you're copying this, you're copying him, you're copying her, and they like, you're not gonna make it, boy. Like, don't bother. Why are you taking this? You're like a little small town boy trying to do shit like people doing for ages now.
Can't have that negativity in
It
your
was
life, man.
really quite depressing. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not talking to people after that. If you say that to my career, like, I don't, I don't blame your hobby to
Hmm.
collect something. Like,
I
it's
gotta
not like a
say,
really big point for any kind of hobby.
mm,
Yeah, yeah.
mhm. I gotta say on this topic actually, like I've never had people really tell me like not to do things as such, but I have had this kind of like lack of support from people around me over the years. Because now I don't really ask anyone anything. I just do what I do because I love it and I believe in it. I'll keep pushing it. Because I find like often when you ask the people around you, they're not helpful really in any way. They don't gas it up and kind of say like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, you should be doing it. Because to be honest, that's the type of people I want around me. Like that's why I think it's good to surround yourself with, other content creators, because they get it. And when you make something that you're really proud of, they know to like be like, yeah, well done. Not just because that they're your friends or they're trying to just gas you up, make you feel better, but like they get why it's a big deal because they do it themselves. Whereas I find that a lot of those people that aren't supportive or are negative, they either don't do something like that themselves, or they're just kind of like, they don't realize the power of like how negativity can affect you, how it can demotivate you, so it's like a constant battle. Like I know for myself, like you said before, like those days when you feel really bad, like I've had days where I'm like, maybe I should quit this, what's the point? Like no one watches, it's trash, like what am I doing? Who am I kidding? And then you get over it and you're like, oh, I'll just keep doing it. At the end of the day. But I think the point I'm trying to allude to is that you really have to like believe in yourself first and foremost, and the people around you. I mean, ideally they're supportive and positive, but either or, I think you just got to like ignore them and just do your own thing. Just
Yeah, you have to be your own number one fangirl after all.
that's a good point, actually. A lot of people that I've spoken to on the podcast and just in general have always said that you need to be able to enjoy your own content, like watch it back and be like, yeah, this is good, I'm proud of this. Like, I know this sounds weird, but sometimes when I'm listening back to podcasts of myself, like interviewing people, and I'm just checking it to make sure it sounds good and there's no issues and such, but sometimes I just leave it on. I'll be like, oh, this is all right, actually, this is quite interesting. And I'm like, what are you doing? You had the conversation, you were there, you don't need to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
to me it's a good thing. It's like, okay, if this is something that's listenable, like I can listen to it and get over, because I don't like watching myself, that's just me, or listening to myself. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, I'll check it and then I'll never think about it again. But I do want people to enjoy it, because I enjoy it and I want it to get better. And, it is there for entertainment purposes, first and foremost. So you want to be able to watch it back and enjoy it yourself. I think that's a very important point. And I couldn't agree more with you on that one.
And as
I'm,
you said, like if you, yeah, I'm sorry to
no,
interrupt you. Like
go,
you,
please.
you touched like a really interesting point. Like when you listen to yourself and watch yourself, like watch your videos and listen to your podcast, it's like when I watch while I'm editing it and I'm hearing like my joke, I can best out like laughing because I really love this like kind of humor, and
Yeah,
I don't really remember that I'm saying this, but now I'm watching it like as a full picture, and I'm laughing,
I guess it's
and I
reliving
think
it,
like,
isn't it? It's
yeah,
like,
it's a good
yeah,
video because I enjoy that. So I enjoy my humor, that somebody will enjoy that too. So that's a good joke. So I'm like, big thumbs up on this video and just continue on like was watching my boring face and my boring voice that I hate to listen and rewatch to, but I have to, like when I'm editing, when I'm like checking everything is okay, like when I'm post production it, like I really don't really love my face. I don't really like my voice. I, not like
hey, dude,
saying like,
I'm right there with you. I think it's in a way it's positive to be your own worst critic, but like you
yeah,
don't see it like other people. Like I don't see that. I look at you and I'm like, this is a cool guy. He's got good looks, talented, doing a lot of cool stuff. Like I don't see any of what you see, but I understand why you feel that way because I feel the exact same way. Sometimes I listen to something that I say, and I'm like, that's cringe. And other people like it and they're like, that's great, and I'm like, no, it's not, it's shit. But it's just like people's different perceptions, isn't it? But I think it's a good thing to be your own worst critic, because it forces you to do better, to push yourself, and
yeah, yeah,
doing that, I think inevitably you will get better. I mean, you have to.
yeah. You have to at some point.
Absolutely. Right, I'm going to throw a really random question your way. This has nothing to do with anything. I just had to ask because A, you're my first Russian guest. B, you're Russian. And C, the reason that I'm asking this is because it's a very divisive question as far as Russians are concerned. You get one answer or the other, and it's normally a very strong answer. So, my question to you is, what are your thoughts on the Russian president Vladimir Putin?
Oh, damn. Yeah, so I was like till last year or like around that time when I was like younger, when I was like a little bit stupider, a little bit like not concerned about my taxes and all, because I was living with my parents. So I was like, I'm not political boy. I'm like, I'm not
Right.
talking about this. I'm not thinking about this. I'm just getting s- like through. But
Mm,
the other day, I heard this really wise words of a stand-up comedian
mhm.
that he said, quote, like, if you're saying that you are unpolitical and you're living in Russia, it's the same thing if you close your eyes and somebody fucks you in the ass. And you're like, I'm not saying this. I'm not looking. And when I'm getting like older, I'm trying to get this because that's a fair point.
That's a
That's really a
great
fair point.
analogy, actually. I mean, okay, like what I will say on this topic is, because like I said, I've got a lot of Russian friends. They're very split on this issue. And the best thing okay, one thing I'll quickly say is that Western media always portrays Vladimir Putin as like either the savior of Russia or like this really evil guy that does evil things. And, I'm sure a lot of that is true. I'm sure, there's a lot of shady shit. But to be honest, there's a lot of shady shit with every single government. It's not, do you know
Yep,
what I mean? I think it's just that classic American thing of like, oh, he's Russian, so he's the bad guy. Or he's
he
German, so he's,
is.
it's that bullshit. But on the factual side of things,
Yeah,
someone said this to me a couple of years back. I think when I was living in Estonia, it was a Russian person, and they said this to me, and this made the most logical sense to me. As far as like why there's a divide between like say Putin supporters um, and people that don't support him, and why it's so kind of like balanced as well. Because I mean, fucking hell, Trump has supporters, right? So it's not unheard of that like Putin would have supporters. But as I understand, um, in the 90s, when Russia was like totally unbelievably fucked, specifically places like Moscow and stuff, like it was a very dangerous place to live and to be.
yeah,
And obviously, it was very highly controlled by the Russian mafia. You didn't have like a police force or a proper government or anything. So it's like a free for all almost. And again, I'm not saying this
yep,
is fact, this is just what I've been told, is that when Putin came in, around that time, because he's had different terms and stuff. When he first came in around that time, he essentially kind of eradicated that problem and kind of got Russia to a point where it was like a functioning continent slash country again. So he basically took the country out of that and into like a new era. Now, obviously, over the years, over the decades, all of that shady stuff has happened, and there's been like good stuff, bad stuff, and so
yeah,
on. And that of course creates the divides. And I think this is purely a generational thing. So the people that are voting for him, I would wager, are largely those older generations who remember like how fucked the country was, you know after the Soviet Union, and in this kind of intermediary period, and they don't want to go back to that. They're like, well, this guy saved us. We want to keep voting for him because it's going to keep us safe and keep the country going. Because it's not just about safety, it's other things like economy. I mean, you know, for many years, the Soviet Union was a very powerful, functioning power, 50s, 60s, 70s, it was doing very well. And then it was that kind of Gorbachev era and stuff that it started going downhill in every single way. But principally, like economically speaking, it had failed massively, and that's kind of like what really sent it downward into a spiral.
yeah,
Um, so, like, I think that's kind of more why there's that divide. And like when this person told me this, that seemed very logical. Um, and it's kind of the same in a way with Trump, you know, with his whole thing of like, make America great again. I mean, all the people that are voting for him for the most part are like out of touch, like racists, like all sorts of crazy shit, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what he's appealing to is that idea of like, hey, do you remember what the America was like in the 50s and 60s? Like, we want to go back to that. We want that, like, make America great again. That's what he's appealing to. And those people are believing in that message and voting for that message. And I think that's kind of what Putin supporters are like as well. They're voting for that message, not necessarily him per se. It's
yeah. And I wanted to tell about like Russian mentality. It's like plays a big role because Russians are like, let's say like that. Now Russia is in stable, a little bit of shit place.
mm,
But people love this stable thing about the shit place. So they still live in a shit place. They still like pay taxes and get like shitty hospitals, but they
right.
stay like to be stable because
Hmm.
they are afraid of what comes after.
Right.
They don't really love to try anything new, try anything different, try anything like from Western countries. So all elder people, I really love Putin because it's stable.
Hmm.
But at the same time, what I think about like Putin politics, uh, we're talking like Putin, but I think it's like talking about the whole government because it's a little bit good of here, a little bit good of that. It's like his friends and his like buddies all around the government now, and that's what I mean about like Putin topic.
Hmm.
And it's like uh after you said like after the crisis and Soviet Union, he just took the country in his big strong arm. But at the same time, this arm can just choke you and like choke you to death.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's like a little bit more of this and that, like a bit more of harsh, a bit of more of less harsh. And people like love this stable politics with what's going on with them, with what's going on with their children, with their grandsons, because they understand this. They can like uh, appreciate this. They can comprehend to this. So that's why they continue voting to Putin. But it's
Hmm.
like it's out of his way. It's out of his age. Everybody's saying like even the university that I enrolled to, they're saying like you're digital natives. You're like digital people. You live with your smartphones. You like only talk in like messengers and shit. But at the same time, we live in Russia, like with shitty hospitals,
Yeah.
half broken like facilities of government,
Right. Right. Right.
and
Right.
like
Right.
with all the like big wages of government.
It is
So it's
very
all the
weird,
same.
isn't it? Like
Yeah,
to
it's
like.
really weird. I don't really understand. Maybe I'm dumb,
No, no,
but
no, no, no. I think you hit on a very good point because there's a lot of countries in the world that have a similar situation where, you know, the average, let's say, living experience for a person is pretty substandard by comparison with other countries. And people just put up with it, you know, because it's what they know, you know, it's life is life. Um,
yeah,
but then they'll also have access to like technology and Western stuff as well. So it's like a very weird kind of mix of things as far as that's concerned. And yeah, I get what you mean. It's odd. Like when I started traveling around Europe and living in Europe, I sort of began to understand just the differences between countries and like how lucky I am to be from the UK in many respects. But like I do kind of think that every country has its good and its bad things. Like even the UK
yeah,
is
I
heavily
agree.
flawed in many different ways. And I think a lot of the time when you're picking somewhere to live, it's a case of like, what am I happy to put up with, and what do I need? You know, like what can I do without? It's more like that. You know, nowhere is
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Even like America, which is, you know, labeled as like, you know, this a perfect place and everything's great. Like obviously, I'm not talking about right now. I'm just talking about, you know, over time, over
American
history.
dream.
Yeah, the American dream. It's like we all know that it's BS, but like there is a lot of truth in certain things. Like, being able to set up a business there and stuff like that
Yeah.
and make a living there. But like it now, America is very unsafe, and it's something that's like, well, you can move there, but you're at your own risk, and it's it's tough. It's tough, like anywhere. But yeah, Russia is an interesting one. It really is. I mean, because I've seen that. Um, I met a lot of Russian people in Estonia. I saw remnants of like the Soviet kind of. I don't know how to put it. Just like, okay, so like there would be a lot of like Soviet era buildings that people still live in, which are fine, like perfectly livable and such. But just it's just different. It's like, I think the best way to put it, in at least in Estonia, is it's like two worlds kind of merging, but
Yeah.
like it's like putting together two jigsaw pieces that don't fit, and it's like, well, eventually something's going to have to budge. Either we move forward and we move away from this, or we don't move forward and we just stick with this. It's like, just doesn't work. But
It's
it's
the same
interesting.
in every single city. It's
Yeah.
like even in Moscow, there are like older buildings, all the architecture, and at the same time, there's a lot of modern buildings, like thin walls and like everything digital.
Mm.
It's really weird.
Very strange, very strange. Well, thanks for just giving us that answer. I just thought it would be something interesting. Moving it back to social media. So you're on this social media network known as VK. It's a
Yep.
Russian website, a social media website. It's been around for many years. I think as long as MySpace, even if people remember that. And the full name, at least, because it used to be called the Conducte. Is that
Контакте.
the
Yeah.
Conducte? Okay,
ВКонтакте.
right. And now it's just been shortened to VK, but it's been around a long time. I think it's a Russian-only website. It's not available in any other countries, is it? It's just Russian-speaking
It's like
countries.
SNG places like Stans, all the Stans, Ukraine, Belarusia.
Right. Yeah. So Russian-speaking countries, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
Russian speaking, pretty much.
Um, how does this social? Because on your YouTube, it's kind of like jokingly, tongue-in-cheek listed as like, oh, it's a place for all my Russian buddies, kind of thing. And to me, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. You're going to have different social media platforms. You want to appeal to your Western audience, but you want to still appeal to your home audience as well. It makes perfect sense to me. But how does it compare to Western social networks, like that you use, like say Instagram, Twitter, whatever? Is it better or worse in any way? I don't know about the features or anything of VK, but is it better, the same? Like, what does it look like? How does it work? And is it useful for promoting your YouTube?
So it's actually the VK thing came across just after the Facebook banned. So Zuck made the Facebook, and then one really interested in Zuck's invention student made up a VK. So it's like pretty much the clone of Facebook. So
Interesting.
it has like public pages, it has like your own page, your friends count, some communities, and etc. So I think it's quite interesting about the advertisement and all the promotings of your own stuff, because there is, as far as I know, a really good targeting system about the promoting stuff as an Instagram. So I've got like a couple of public pages that I run with my friends, like
Mm-hmm.
shop, and then like Overwatch page. I had like 1K followers there. So it's interesting experience, but at the same time, I think that VK is like not a solid social media. It's like not a solid big space for your work.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like it's pretty much as the Facebook. I just post every single video of my own on my wall in my public Spazious page, and I don't care about it. It's like it's for my Russian friends, because all the promotion goes to Russian friends who are subscribed to this page. You can tag like a couple of like I don't know Russian guys who are interested in this and that and this tag. But at the same time, it's like Facebook. It's like not going anywhere. There are big
It,
groups of YouTubers who like for like, subscribe for subscribe, but I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, boy, go and work.
So,
Go
so
and
is
do the
is
content.
VK like old people Facebook, but for Russia now?
No, we have like another like OK. It's like another VK. It's like
Oh, okay, right.
older.
Okay.
It's like this place is trash. VK is like a little bit. It's like a bin, a trash bin, not like a big trash
Just
truck.
yeah, upgrade in the trash can. That's all. Slightly cleaner
Yeah,
bin.
yeah, pretty much. I use VK only for my buddies, only to message my friends and like to know things about my university and stuff
Mm.
or work. Because all the people like pretty much concentrating on VK, not like using like WhatsApp or something like that. They use VK for chats. So I'm
Oh,
using like
okay.
this pretty much only for work and connecting with my friends and colleagues.
It's the same for me
I
with
will,
Facebook. Actually, I mean, I use it
yeah,
to keep in touch with family. Uh, I post memes and shit now and again, but nothing like I don't. It's mainly there, yeah, to keep in touch with family and friends, and then I've got a public page for all of my, you know, all my projects and stuff. But like, I just look at it as another place. Like, I don't really care about it. I'm just like, it would be silly not to have it. It would be silly not
yeah,
to
yeah.
post there. But at the same time, like you say, it's like not really. It's not
It's
like
not really the place to.
yeah, I feel like if you're going to find people that are genuinely interested in what you do as far as like content creation is concerned, it's going to be through YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the places where people actually actively share things. I mean, Reddit, for instance, is a good example
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
but it's a bit different. But yeah, I get where you're coming from on that. It's just interesting to me to compare because obviously we don't have VK here. I remember I've always known about VK for many years, but I just kind of assumed it was just Russian version of Facebook basically. So it's interesting to know that there's other
Yeah,
networks out
that's
there
pretty
as well.
much it.
It makes sense as well that you guys use it for chats, I suppose, because obviously Facebook owns everything now as far as like
Yeah,
WhatsApp
yeah.
and Instagram and all that. But it wouldn't necessarily be used as like the primary social media app in other regions of the world. So that makes sense. But anyway, moving forward, what is Mayamba?
Majamba.
Majamba.
So if you started any video of mine, my classic intro is like, "What is up, I'm Jambus. Spazious here. Welcome to another shitty horror game." So when I started watching, like, I don't remember, was it like Useless Mouth or PewDiePie?
Mm.
Sometime, like for a short time, he was getting to his audience like Majambas. It's like Jumbo Majambas, like something like with the Mexican stuff and all that.
Mm.
And I remember that when I was like trying to improve my intros, like first like couple of videos,
Okay.
and I thought I was saying like, "What is up, guys?" But
Yep.
guys is like, what am I, hipster?
Sexist.
What? Yeah, sexist.
Just kidding, man.
Like, and I thought like every single YouTuber has like a name for their audience, like
Oh, I
clan,
remember that
family,
trend.
law
Yeah,
gang.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I thought like I'm from that old school, so I'll just do Majamba clan. So we have like Majamba clan, so every single subscriber is Majamba for me.
Okay, cool.
And
Yeah.
as I see
I
Majamba is like a friend, or
yeah.
like I don't know, is that language? I don't know, is that a word even? But still,
No,
like I really like that.
that's what I don't know. I just saw it on your YouTube and I thought it was funny. I thought I'd find a creative way to ask you about that because I knew it's listed as like, oh, you're going to be part of this community.
Yeah,
But I just thought that was an interesting thing. Now let's talk a little bit more about streaming. Now we know that you kind of stream with your friends such as Stilsy and such, but
Yeah.
why did you actually decide to start streaming on Twitch? Because I feel like this is a good question to ask people that do both YouTube and Twitch, because they are so drastically different. I know it's possible to just upload the streams to YouTube and cut clips and stuff, but like it really, to me, it sounds like you're really kind of trying to give YouTube a go on its own, and you're doing these things separately.
Yeah,
With the
pretty much.
crossovers being that, yeah, right, yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah, why did you decide to start streaming on Twitch?
So I thought when all the YouTube gaming happened, like in mid tens of 2010, 2012, when the gaming pops as a tag, as a category in YouTube, they started to do the gaming, YouTube gaming. So
Hmm.
I thought like it's not really a good platform to stream on, because nowadays I know a lot of people who stream on YouTube and like they're successful. They use all the features as it should.
Right.
But at the same time, I thought like if you want to stream yourself, even like just chatting or playing game or like connecting with your community, I think that Twitch is more appealing to the audience. It's like when you go to Twitch, I feel like I want to connect with the creator. I want to see how he looks, how he talks, how he responds to the game live. Because uh, in every video, like I think a lot of creators have this. You playing a character. Like video starts, you hit the rec button. You're this funny guy. But when you, I just when I'm editing one of my videos, it's like Spazious is a character for me because I really like decided for me like Spazious is a character. He's a little bit crazy. He likes to shout. He likes to scream. He likes to like be mean and stuff. But at the same time, I'm not really that guy in real life. But
This
at the
is
same time, it's like
interesting. Okay.
it's it's like complicated. I think because at the same time I can be like a really shy guy in real life. At the same time I can be a really loud big boy in YouTube's. So when you go to Twitch, you feel like the real energy of a creator. Even he's playing the character, he's not. You just see the man, the woman, the Apache helicopter. I
But
don't know.
let's say one day you become really big and really successful. Um,
Yeah.
because I've there's a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers that do exactly what you're doing. They essentially play a character online, or if
Yeah.
not a character, then a very souped up kind of high energy version of themselves. But then
Hmm.
the difficulty with that is that when you do eventually meet fans and do meet and greets, they're probably going to be very disappointed because you're not going to be that person in real life. I mean, you could choose to be, I suppose. I suppose you could act all day, but that's tiring to do that. Do you not anticipate a sort of a problem with this? Like the reason that I asked this is because when I started YouTube, the thought very briefly crossed my mind, like, should I not like consciously like portray a character, but should I be, souped up for the camera and stuff? And my kind of conclusion
Hmm.
was this is a bad idea because if I do have fans or something in the future, I have to be that guy and I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be myself from day one. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like, do you anticipate that as a problem at all?
Nah, not really, because uh, there is like in every other man, like there is like big introvert and extrovert parts of him. Like when you chilling with your friends, you're like a little bit introverted. You just don't really want to scream and shout and do all this shit. But at the same time, every single like not a friend, but like a mate, like who knows you, every single like this person in like my university in my work, they know like this kind of spaz because they know that I'm like I can be screaming, I can be joking around about like penises and stuff, but uh I'm not really with my family like this because I don't really know, is that bipolar thing, but I really love to be introverted and extroverted at the same time because I can be just like chilling, not being like screamy and not being like joking around about bad stuff. Like I really like to try on Stelz's stream to ban his stream. Not really, I don't want his ban.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, like I'm like this jokey little weird guy in the
Yeah.
university that everybody loves and everybody likes joke with. It's like not really big a character, I should say. It's like a big of what you want to be. It's like self-developing the same time as you playing the character. So I really want to be like this better version of myself. And as you
Mm,
said, if I met somebody in real life, and I met like Russian people and talked with some Indonesian subscribers,
right.
and they saying like you're a good guy, you're like not that really big of a spaz, but at the same time it's really good to talk to you and really good like to hang around and just have a beer or something.
It-
So I
it-
thought like that's the perfect like centered version of me.
to me, it kind of sounds like you're portraying one shade of your personality. Like you made a very good point there where you said like, oh, I wouldn't act this way in front of my parents. And I think that's a fair point. We do act differently with different friends, different groups, because I suppose it brings out different parts of us. Like I always try to be person. I always try to be myself in all situations, but it's inevitable that when you're with certain people, certain parts of you are pulled out and so on and so forth. So yeah, to me, it just sounds like it's just one shade of your personality that's coming out online. And in fairness, we can all agree that when we're doing these YouTube videos or this Twitch streaming, we are pushing it a little bit for the camera because you can't just sit there like this and make the video like this. We're just chilling like this, and because who
Yeah.
wants to watch that? You got to be more animated and stuff. So it is an opportunity to sort of do that. Um, but yeah, cool, awesome source. Moving forward, would you say you prefer creating content for YouTube or Twitch? Which is your favorite?
I don't know. I just, as I said, like I don't have like a cool equipment for the Twitch. I really love streaming. I really love streaming, but at the same time, I don't have like much of a time living with my parents and my brother, for example, and not like much uh, of the hardware. Even
Mm-hmm.
like hardware, it's not allowing me to play what I want to play. I want to be a big Fortnite streamer, but I only play Fortnite on low level by my own. So I enjoy more of YouTube in case of that you can increase the quality of your content because you can just do all the post production and like editing as you want it to be. And Twitch, you can really live with in live. You can really edit what you want to edit. You want to edit a meme, you have to look at the meme, download it, put it on the screen, and now you have a meme. And bang, in the video, I have this meme and that meme, and just an explosion. That's why I want to have editor at some point.
Yeah, we all need an
So
editor. Okay,
yeah,
but do you not think it's kind of worth just starting, even though you don't have the equipment that you want? Because I know that feeling. I had the exact same concerns when I started doing this podcast. So I've since been able to get a better mic. Shout out to Stilsy for making that happen. As always, thank you so much. But yeah, I started with just some crappy microphone that I bought in Estonia that was worth like 20 euros. And, you know, I was frustrated at first. I was like, oh, I wish I could do more. I wish I had like the perfect camera, the perfect mic. And
yeah,
we're still growing, we're still getting there. But it's like, I guess what I'm trying to ask you, because this was a decision that I made as well, was to just go for it and get the stuff later on. Do you not think it's worth just starting out and growing that following, getting those people behind you, and then you could probably get like things like donations or make money from, I don't know, sponsorships or through YouTube or through Twitch or however, and eventually get the things that you want? Because as you've said, first and foremost, the content is the most important thing. The equipment obviously just makes it easier or better to produce what you want to produce. But like, first and foremost, people are coming to consume your content. It's not about
yeah,
your fucking mic or something like that.
yeah. I agree with that because uh, the all the people can really play all the games by themselves. They don't really going on streams on YouTube videos for the game, like for real exceptions, like when you can play really the game or buy the game. But at the same time, they really don't want to see only the game. They want to see like a content. They want to see jokes. They want to see your energy. They want to talk with you like on live streams. So I think that if you have like shitty mic, if you don't have a camera, but you have big eager to do this, I think it's like never late. Just do this. Just spread your word, spread your like butter on all the ass cheeks that you want, and get into that.
So eloquently put. Okay, switching it up, moving forward. You are also a musician. It's something that
Yep.
you don't kind of push as much as everything else. Now, I would say that's probably because you're still very much experimenting with this, and it feels to me like something that's a bit newer. I mean, I personally think that there's a lot of promise in this, in what you're doing.
Thank
I
you.
dug the sound of it. I thought it was. I can tell you're not using like the best equipment ever, but you know you got to start somewhere, and it's good for what you're like. The equipment that you're using, you've done a very good job. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
and you're kind of regularly releasing this music via your SoundCloud. So talk to us about, I guess, what music kind of means to you in general.
So with the music, there's like I thought that music and video are different. It's like production wise, the editing wise, the post production wise. And I thought it's like a really hard work. And at the same time, I really wanted to know any like music theory or
Mm-hmm.
like get into music school or stuff. But I don't understand. Uh, in any notes, I mean, like I don't play guitar. I play ukulele only like by
Hey.
the chords online, like showing how you have to put your fingers on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know notes. But when I was looking at the YouTube videos, like in my recommendations, like how to make this kind of rap trap music, like by like Lil Yachty or something. And I saw like there's like a basic FL Studio, basic Ableton. You can just download it and just click around. So I downloaded it, started to click around, like, and I don't want to brag or anything, but everybody's saying like I have a good taste in music. So I'm like listening to music and I understand like notes like
Mm-hmm.
in my head, not like knowledge wise, but in my head I know that this sounds good. So I started to like pick some notes, pick some like chords, pick some patterns, and try to experiment it. So I didn't like push it so much in my content, but really I enjoy make music. I don't really do that recently because it's like when it hits you, you're just
Yep.
spending all night
Mm-hmm.
like just
Mm-hmm.
making this track.
Yep.
And that's why I don't really listen to music when I'm traveling, like by bus, by tram, by something,
Oh, all
because
right.
when you listen to music, you only listen to like when I was listening to Joji's new album,
Mm-hmm.
and I made next track of mine. I noticed that the intro of the track was the same melody as the Joji's, but I still don't know the chords. I still don't know the notes, but I replay that
Mm-hmm.
with my own brain. So I thought like if you don't listen to music when you're traveling, like to your work, to your university or to your school, you have this little development going on. Your brain is bored, so it's starting to produce music. So I'm trying to do it like in my phone, then just remember this sound and just go back home and do it on my laptop. So it's like more productive to make new sounds and new music.
Fair play. Fair play. What are your goals with music?
I don't really know. So I have like a little much more of a audience in SoundCloud
Mm-hmm.
because on my I don't know how it's like YouTube wise and SoundCloud wise listens like views. There is a lot of them, and
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting this. I just put tags on. I like put my own photoshops of the previews, and that's all. I'm just throw it there, and go just playing video games. And when I go back and hear that people really love the sounds, it's like I really want to make people like sad and horny, because that's what I'm classifying my music. Because
Sad and
people
horny.
sad and horny, yeah. So it's like heartbroken playlist. I don't know, something like that. I'm not really like sad all the time, but I really like making sad music.
This is a
It's like
really random mix of two emotions right there, sad and but horny.
it's it's my style, I think. I thought, like, for example, like which genre of music you're making, like what is your genre? I'm saying like sad and horny. Just don't ask me shit.
Yeah, because it for those who haven't listened to it, I recommend you go and listen to it on SoundCloud. It's good stuff. It's lo-fi kind of experimental hip hop, I guess. But like you say, it's difficult to put genres on things these days, especially if it gets more and more experimental. But it's cool, and I like the fact that you do it in Russian as well. I don't think it massively makes a big difference if it's in English or Russian, particularly. But I
Yeah.
will say that the Russian language is very nice for music. There's a lot of fantastic Russian musicians out there. Just kind of gives it a different vibe, I guess. So that's cool. But what can we kind of expect from you in the future in terms of your music? I mean, you mentioned that you're not really doing stuff right now, but as you said before, it kind of comes to you at certain times. And I'm the same. Like I write music when it comes to me. You know, if I get an idea, I start writing on it. So I don't get worried like if I haven't released music in a while. So when do you reckon like? Do you have an idea? Have you sort of, I don't know, earmarked a certain time, or are you just kind of, waiting for the inspiration to come?
Actually, now I'm working with the witch house genre,
Okay,
so I really love like this dark vibe horror stuff.
cool.
So witch house is like a little bit dancey, a little bit scary sounds, but it's still
Hmm.
the house. So I've almost produced the track to the perfect fit that I want to, and me and my friends are going to shoot a video, like a music video.
Cool.
So music video to come.
Woo!
So I'm trying to do a witch house now.
Excellent, excellent. Well, if you need a singer, give me a shout because I sing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's a good
happily do
idea.
collabs. Awesome. Well, that's great actually that you've got something upcoming. So there is something coming for you in terms of music. Fantabulous. And yeah, so moving it forward, as I guess to kind of put a little bow on this particular podcast, draw it to a close. Do you have any major upcoming projects through, say, YouTube or Twitch that you'd like to share with us? Particular things that you'd like to plug, or maybe just some final thoughts that you'd like to share to your followers or to anyone that isn't currently following you? Now's your time to plug yourself. Go nuts.
Sup to spares, boys and
Sub to
girls. I'm not
spaz.
sexist. Yeah, that's the meme that's going with the German boys with Stelzy, like Sap to Spaz, always on his streams. So yeah, I'm going to release less of a gaming content and try to get more into IRL stuff. So more vlogs to happen because I'm moving places, more challenges and crazy stuff. Like I really enjoy Filthy Frank.
Mhm.
So let's see where it will take me when I'm like living by myself with my friends. So yeah, that's the main reason. And the second one, I need to make a video about this, like as quicker than your podcast. I'm going to create a second channel. It's for
Okay,
Russians, only in
excellent.
Russian, and try to wing it, like not this every single day videos, but like twice or three times a week.
Okay.
But it's more. I think it's more quality to this. We always saying with Stelzy like it's quality over quantity.
Hmm.
So, and I don't really think that in YouTube now it's. Some time ago, YouTube was rewarding guys who upload daily, like twice a
Mm.
day, like
Hmm.
Jacksepticeye
Hmm.
who got this. And now it's not really about that. It's about watch time and like shorter videos, more
Yeah.
interesting content inside. So I'm really trying to focus on that new strat, and I will upload once or twice on the Russian channel. So
Okay.
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be, I don't know. I really don't know. I really want to like include more people into my like viewership and like into my Majamba clan, so I can like understand what people see that I'm doing and they like really to watch it.
It's pretty interesting, yeah, that you're going to have two separate channels, like one for English or international and one for Russian. Like I find that it's just kind of interesting to me, you know. I mean, because it's the same guy, same
Yeah,
person, but yeah, just different audiences.
it speaks the other accent, speaks the other language.
Yeah.
It's like
I,
click and он начинает говорить по-русски, и никто ничего не понимает на зарубежном канале. And click and he's back in English.
Bonnie Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I think it can only work out in a positive way. I think, if anything, it would be good if it helps you to leverage like, I think, you know, if your Russian fans enjoy you and they want to check out more of you than they can see in your international stuff. And yeah, it just kind of gets you out there to more people, really, doesn't it? And it
Yeah,
allows
it's like
you,
a sandbox.
yeah, and it
It's
allows
like
you
a
to do
sandbox
stuff
because,
in your native language as well, which, as
yeah.
I understand, speaking other languages as well, it does kind of affect how you create things, and the vibe and the feel is different in different languages. So there is that
Yeah.
too. Well, listen, thank you very much for being on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure, and
Thank you.
another great interview, another great podcast. I've really enjoyed it. To everyone listening to the Christian Reeves podcast, Christian Reeve podcast, Jesus, I nearly did the spelling mistake that everyone does with my name that pisses me off. So I'm just going to say it again. To everyone listening to the Christian Reeve podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, I hope that you're enjoying the podcast. I hope that everyone is enjoying the video podcasts that we now have. For those who listen to the audio only version, I recommend you just pop by and check out the YouTube as well. See if you like the video setup that we have here.
And our faces.
And I think it's good to have a video option. It's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think it's good.
It's good. It's good. And yeah, for anyone that wants to appear on the Christian Reeve podcast, please get in touch with me via email or via any of my social media platforms. I would love to have you. I would love to interview you, showcase you, whatever the case may be. I don't care if you have a small following or a massive following. You know, it might change the nature of how I do the interview, but I always go through the same process. I always do as much research as I can and try and put my guests in the best possible light. But I think more importantly, I always try to give people a platform to speak, which people don't always necessarily have. And it's not very easy to talk about yourself. Whereas if you're being interviewed, it's much easier. So yeah. And also, yeah, for everyone listening, if you just have topics that you'd like me to cover in the podcast, because I know occasionally we do podcasts where it's just me talking, and you know, I'm more than happy to talk at length about pretty much anything. So if you do have any topics that you'd like to send in, please drop them in the comments. Please let me know. Oh, look at that hat. That's wonderful.
Go to YouTube video to see my hat.
Yes, go to the YouTube video to see the wonderful hat. It's worth it, I promise. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the Christian Reeve podcast. And until next time, peace out. One love. Ciao.
Bye.